So there is a class A is there, and class A is having M1 method. So M1, simple one, M1 method of which class here? A class. A class. What is the message I'll get? M1 method of A class. Then you are calling M2 method. Is it M2 method is there in B class? Yes. But here we are not doing any overriding. Here we are not doing any overriding. Okay. Now you can see the message like M1 of or M1 method of A class and M2 method of what? B class. But what I'm doing in B class is I'm writing a method called which one? M1. But actually this M1, is it a method of B class? No. Actually this M1 is a method of which class? A class. It is redefined in which class? B class. If I don't write M1 method, is it B class inherit M1 method of which class? A class. But that M1 method of A class, you are overriding it. That M1 method of A class, you are overriding it. Now this is called which method here? Overriding method. This is called overriding method, and this base class method is called as which method? Overridden method. This derived class method is called which method? Overriding method, and this base class method is called as which method? Overridden method. So there is a overriding method and there is what? Overridden method. And here I am trying to display the message saying that this is which method? Overriding method. This is which method here? Overriding method. Overriding. Now, if I say obj b dot m1, it look for m1 method in which class? B class. Is it m1 is there or not? Yes. Suppose if I don't write m1 method, then it will call m1 method of which class? A class. But m1 method of A class provided different implementation in which class? B class. Okay. So it means you write another method with the same name. You write another method with the same name in which class? B class, but the same implementation or different implement. Now that you call it as which one? Overriding. Polymorphism. Now you can see overriding method and M2 method of which class? B class. If you want to modify or extend functionality of base class method within derived class, if you want to provide different implementation of base class method within what? Derived class, then you go for which one? Overriding. So the base class method is called as base class method is called here overridden method, and derived class method is called as which method? Overriding method. Base class method is called as overridden method, and derived class method is called as which one? Overriding method. This is very important because in application development, you inherit one class. Okay, you develop one class by inheriting another class, and you want to provide your own implementations. You want to modify the functionality of which class? Base class. Then what do you do? It override. So overriding allows to provide different implementations of base class method within derived class. Okay, different implementations of base class method within derived class is nothing but, so child class inherits the behavior of which class? Parent class. Child class inherit behavior of which class? Parent class. and child class might have a different implementation of the behavior of which class? Parent class. Okay, some behavior is implemented as it is, some behavior will be implemented what as it is. Okay, so assume that there is a parent class, assume that you have one parent class. Okay, assume that you have a one parent class. Assume that there is a parent class is there. Parent class means, okay, in the place of parent, there is a class. Assume that, so there is one class called Amitabh is there. Okay, so Amitabh, correct only? THR, TR only? Yes, THR, BH. Okay, so this is a parent class, and this Amitabh is having one, is do one operation. What is it operation? Act. Amitabh act. Okay, but Amitabh act is very good in what here? Is good in what here? Acting. Is very good in acting, right? Okay, so this is Amitabh. Now this is called as a parent, right? And there is one more. His child is there, right? His child is there. Who is the child here? Abhishek. Abhishek inherit from which one? Amitabh. Okay. So what will happen now? This act functionality of Amitabh is inherited in what? Abhishek. But act is a behavior of which one? Amitabh. And that act is inherited in what here? Abhishek. But is it Abhishek act like a Amitabh? No. It means what happened here? Override. Which one is override? Act functionality of the Amitabh is override here. It is override here. Now is bad in which one here? Acting. Okay, bad in acting. It means both will have same method but different implementation. Polymorphism method is same, but implementation is what? Different. Method is the same, but implementation is a different here. Different implementation is a different. Now this is Abhishek, right? This is Abhishek object. Okay, Abhishek object. Okay, so if I say A1 dot act, Abhishek act, if I'm saying, it will try to display what it will display? Bad in what here? Acting. Right? Suppose if I don't write this, okay, it means now this act behavior or act functionality of Amitabh is as it is inherited in what? Abhishek. It means Amitabh is a good in acting, and even Abhishek also what? Good in acting. But act is a behavior inherited from which one? Amitabh. But now this person doesn't act like what? This person doesn't act like what? Amitabh. Because of that, this behavior is changed when it comes to which one? Abhishek. So this is called which method here? This is called as which method? Overriding method. And this is called as which method? Overridden method. So you are providing different implementation of base class method within the derived class by using what here? Method overriding. So method overriding, for example, so an application development, right? So method overriding is very much useful because you inherit classes provided by framework, and then you try to provide different implementations for those frameworks. You provide different implementation for those classes, but that is done using method overriding. For example, if you take, there is a class. What is a class here? Object class. Now see here, if you see the first example in method resolution order, first it is searching in which class? C class. If it is not there in the C class, then it is searching in which class? A class. If it is not there in the A class, it is searching in which class? B class. If it is not there in the B class, it is searching in which class? Object class. But are you inherited any object class? No. Are you inherit any object class? No. C class inherit which class? A class and B class. But is it object class is inherited or not inherited? Not inherited. But every class in Python, whenever you write one class, okay, whenever you write a class, that class automatically inherits. When you write one class, that class automatically inherit. Okay, so A is called as which class? A is called as which class? Derived class. It is a derived class of which class? Object class. Are you inheriting object class here? Okay, are you inheriting object class here? No. But by default, whenever you write a class, that class inherit all the members of which class? Object class. So why? Because every class in Python is what? Object type. Every class in Python is what? Object type. And these objects are managed by, suppose you create object, that object is managed by which one? That object is managed by which one? Python virtual machine. But Python virtual machine, the Python virtual machine maintain the objects by calling certain methods of which class here? Object class. Because of that, every class in Python automatically inherit which class here? Object class. You write a class A, but are you inherited any object class? No. Suppose if I'm saying method resolution order of A, okay, now I'm writing obj, if I'm writing print a dot, what is that? MRO stands for method resolution order. So what is a method resolution order for A class? Okay, so first it will search in which class? A class. First it will search in which class? A class. Is it, if members are not there in A class, then next it is searching in which class? Object class. But A class, is it inherited any class? No. Is it A class inherited any class? No. But by default, A class is inheriting which class here? Object class. But are you inherited any class here? No. But A class automatically inherited which class here? Object class. Means every class in Python is automatically inherit which class? Object class. That is called as a base class for what? Any class in what? Python. That is a base class for any class in what? Python. That is object class. Object class is a predefined class or user defined? Predefined class. So every class in Python, automatically, every class in Python automatically inherit. Which class here? Object class. Every class in Python, okay, automatically inherit object class. You can say object class is a base class, for all classes in what here? Python. This class allows to build, okay, this class allows to build what here? New classes in what? Python. Okay, so when you write a class, that class automatically inherit which class? Object class. So it allows to create a new types or not? Yes, you are creating a new types by using which class? Object class. You want to know what is the content of object class? What is the content of object class? What members are there in object class? You can use a function called dir. The content of any predefined classes, you can use a function called what? Dir. What is the name of the class you want to see content? Object class. So object class is having all magic methods and magic variables. So here all these are magic methods or magic variables, like class delete attribute, dir, doc, equal, format, greater than, get attribute, greater than or equal to, less than, hash, init. Init is there here. less than or equal to. Okay, now all these are attributes and methods of which class here? Object class. It means if I write a class, is it my class is having all these things or not? Yes. If I'm writing a class, my class is having all these things. Automatically, it inherits all the things available in which class? Object class. Okay, if I'm writing one class, my class is having all these things. If I'm writing a class, my class is having all this content. So there are some attributes out there and there are some methods out there. There are some attributes out there and there are some methods out there. Okay, but these methods are used by Python virtual machine for managing which one here? Objects. These methods are used by Python virtual machine for managing which one? Objects. For example, there is one method is there. What is the method here? str is there. Str method. If you take this str method is there. Str method of which class here? Object class. But see the methods. Now you have to remember, note. So the names are methods. Names are methods which are prefix and suffix, which are prefix and suffix with what is that? Double underscore, are called which methods here? Magic methods. The methods which are prefix and suffix with what here? Double underscore are called as which methods? Magic methods. And these methods are executed automatically. These methods are executed automatically by which one here? Python virtual machine. Okay, you are not invoking these methods. These methods will be executed automatically. Okay, these methods will be executed what here? Automatically. You don't require to create these methods. These methods will be executed how? Automatically. Color. So what is the name of this method here? str method of which class here? Object class. So actually this method is executed. This method is executed. Okay, whenever. So this method is executed whenever we print. Whenever we print what here? Whenever we print what here? Object. Whenever we print object is printed by calling which method? str method. Whenever we print the object is printed by calling which method? str method. Whenever we print the object is printed by calling which method? str method. str method. So this method return string representation of string representation of what here? Object. This method returns string representation of object. So by default this method returns okay, what is that? Address or id of. By default this method returns address or id of which one? Object. By default this method returns address or id of the object. What is the meaning of this is whenever you print object, for example, there is a student class is there. Okay, so student class or student data type. So student is a data type and this data type is having how many attributes here? 2. I'll try to create by giving roll number as well as what? Name. So this is a constructor with arguments or with arguments. So what will happen? Okay, what will happen when I create object of a student? When I create object of a student, right? The object of a student is created with how many attributes here? 2 attributes. Now see here, this is called as which object here? This is called as which object? Student 1. Now the student 1 object is created by calling what here? Constructor. This constructor receive roll number as well as what? Name. And after that, assign this roll number to roll number of. Assign this roll number to the roll number of which one? Student 1. And assign this name to the name of which one here? Student 1. So what is the student 1 roll number? 101 and name is what? Suresh. But the data which is there inside this is what here? Private. So what will happen if I print? If I say print student 1, will it print the data? Will it print the data of the student? Will it print the data of the student here? No. Is it printed data of the student or address of the student? Address. It's saying that, okay, this is a student object. And this student object is created in which module? Main module. The student object is created in which module? Main module. And the student object is there at which location? This is a location, or this you can call it as what here? Address. This is called as a location, or this is called as what here? Address. Address of that particular object. But suppose I create a list object. Assume that I create a list object using a range of how many values? 10 values. But what will happen if I print list 1? If I print student 1, it is printed what? Address. But what will happen if I print list 1? Is it print address or values? Values. Is it printed address of object, or is it written the address of object or values of the object? Values of the object. But for student 1, is it written address of object or values of the object? Address of the object. Why? Because whenever you print, now you have to understand, whenever you print, it will print by calling one method here. You write here stud1, but internally it is calling one method. What is that method? Is calling str method. Now tell me, is it a student is having str method? No. Is a student is having str method? No. But for student, which one is a base class? Object class. For student, which one is a base class? Object class. In object class, it look for which method? str method. Is it object class is having str method? Yes. But what that str method is returning? Is it returning values of student or address of student? Address. Is it that str method of object class will it return values or address? Address. Address. It is returning address. If you run this, how many times it is get? 2 times, because one is implicit calling and one more is what? Explicit. You call str, but in this case, who calls str? PVM. In this case, who calls str? PVM. But here I call the str. But both outputs are same or different? Same. Because whenever you print the object, your object is printed by calling which method? str. But I don't want to print what here? Address. I want to print what? I don't want to print address, but I want to print what? Values. Then what do you do it? Override. Then what do you do it? Override. Override. Now this is which method now? Overriding method. But for this student class, which one is a base class? Object is a base class. And object class str method you are overriding. Why you are overriding object class str method? Because str method of object class is returning what? Address. Str method of object class is returning what? Address. I don't want to return what? Address. I want to return what? Value. Then what do you do it? What do you do it? You'll override and say self dot. So I need to convert this string of self dot. What is that? Roll number. So I do concatenation. So I do concatenation self dot name. Now in this case, is it written value or address? Values. In this case, is it written value or address? Values. If I don't write this, will it print the values or address? If I don't write this, will it print value or address? Address. I don't want to print address, but I want to print what? Values. Then what do you do it? Override. Override which method? str method. So is it written values or address? Values. It means all predefined classes like list. For example, list is there. I create even dictionary. Suppose I create a set equal to set of, I'll say range of what is that? 10. So even though if I print a set, will you get the address of set or values of set? Values of set. It means set is a predefined type or user defined? Predefined. List is a predefined type or user defined? Predefined type. But all these classes are override already. Which method? str method. Already all these classes are override which method? str method. Because of that, are you getting values or addresses? Values. Values, because this methods already override which method? str method. If you want, you can say print list one dot. What is it here? str. Print set one dot. Print set one dot. What is that? str. So is it output is the same or different? Same. It means this list class override which method? str method of object class. And this set class override which method? str method of what? Object class. In the same way, this is my own data type, and I also override which one? str. So that whenever I print a student object, it will return what? Whenever I print the student object, will it return the address or values? Values. Then you have to override which one here? str method. Now in this case, this str is called by the PVM. Okay, overriding allows to provide a different implementation. So this method is executed whenever we print object, and this method returns string representation of object. By default, this method returns address or ID of object. But in order to print, in order to return state or values of object, we need to override. We need to override what? str method. str method in which class? Derived class. Okay. We need to override str method in which class here? Derived class. In the same way, overriding allows to provide different implementation of base class method within what here? Derived class. In the same way, assume that in the same way, okay, assume that, okay, in the same way, for example, there is a class. So class is there. Class, what is that name of the class here? Employee. So using employee class, I'm representing whose data? Employee's data. Using employee class, I'm representing whose data here? Employee's data. Using employee class, I represent whose data? Employee's data. Employee's data. Yeah, just try to understand this. So what is the name of the class you have here? Employee class. But what employee is having? What employee is having? The employee is having employee number. So self dot employee number, right? So I'll send the values, employee number as well as what? Name. So what employee is having? Employee name. So self dot employee number equal to E, and self dot employee name equal to what? N. Employee name equal to E, and employee number equal to E, and employee name equal to what? N. Okay now. Then what I'm doing is I'm trying to create two employees. One is employee 1, whose employee number is 101 and name is some Suresh, right? Okay, this is the name of the employee 1, and there is an employee 2 and whose employee number is 1, and this is the name of the employee. So how many objects I created here? Two objects. Two objects I created here. So this is employee 1 and this is what here? Employee 2. So employee 1 is there and employee 2 is there. So employee 1 is having employee number. Employee 1 is having employee number whose employee number is 101, and employee 2 is employee 1 is having employee name, and whose employee name is what here? Suresh. There is one more object is there, that is employee 2, and employee 2 is having employee number, and what is that employee number? 101, and employee 2 is having employee name, and what is the name of this employee here? Kishore. Okay, the data which is there inside this object, what data is having inside this is a private. Okay. So what will happen if I compare this both the objects by saying employee 1 double equal to what? Employee 2. Okay, employee 1 double equal to what? Employee 2. So what you are doing, you are trying to call which one here? Double equal. You are trying to call which one here? Double equal. You are saying employee 1 double equal to what here? Employee 2. So this double equal is used for comparison or not? Yes. This double equal is for comparison. What is this written here? False. But is it employee numbers of this both the employees are same or different? Same. But even though it is written true or false? False. Why? Because see, whenever you are using double equal, again, whenever you are using a double equal, internally it is calling one method. What is that method is calling? Equal method. This double equal operator is bind with one method here. This double equal operator is bind with one method. This double equal operator is bind with which method? Equal method. And to this equal method, it will send one more object, that is what? Employee 2. So it means internally your Python virtual machine is calling which method? Equal method of which class? Employee class. But is it equal method is there in employee class? No. Equal method is not there in which class? Employee class. But for this employee class, which one is a base class? Object class. Is it equal method is there in object class? Yes. Is it equal method is there in object class? Yes, here. So this is a method. What is this method here? Equal. Equal method is there in object class. Equal method is there in object class. But equal method which is there in object class, what it will compare? Address. Equal method of object class, what it will compare here? Address. But is it address of this both the objects are same or different? Different. The address of these objects are same or different? Different. Address is not same. This address is what here? Different. Now I don't want to compare which one? Address. I want to compare which one? Values. Then what do you do it? Override. Override which method? Equal method, which receive current object, which will receive employee 1, and which will receive other object. So what is the other object here? Employee 2. Self is which one here? Employee 1. And other is which one here? Employee 2. When I say equal, it is calling which method? Equal. If I'm not calling this equal, what it is comparing it? Addresses. But I want to compare which one? Values. When I can say both are equal? When should I say employees are equal? When both the employees are having what? When both the employees are having what? Same number. So you are making object equality by comparing names or numbers? numbers. You are comparing the employee number of which one? Employee 1. You are comparing the employee number of what? Employee 2. If the employee number of employee 1, if the employee number of employee 2, both are equal, then you are returning true. Otherwise, you are returning what here? False. Okay, if employee number of employee 1 and if employee number of employee 2 both are same, then it returns true. Otherwise, what? False. But is it written true or false here? True. So previously not implemented, but here I implemented. I implemented which one here? Equal. I implemented which one here? Equal. Equal is implemented here. Getting on. Or suppose if I don't implement this equal, then it will call the equal of which one? Base class. But that equal method doesn't compare values. That equal method compare what? Address. So can you say this equal is which method now? This equal is which method now? Overriding method. Overriding method. It is overriding method of which class? Object class. So why you are overriding? You should know that you are overriding to provide what? Different implementation. You are overriding to provide a different implementation of base class methods. You are providing different implementation of base class method within what? Derived class. Different implementation of base class method within derived class. You are doing that by using method overriding. Overriding allows to provide different implementation or extending or modifying, right? So because the main objective of object oriented is developing data types. So you develop a data type from where? By inheriting existing data types, and you want to modify certain functionality. Then how you modify? By using what? Overriding. So a person given one class, okay, then you inherit that class and you don't want same implementation, you want to provide different implementation, then you do that by using what here? Overriding. By using overriding, you provide different implementation. For example, there is a class again. There is a class called which one again? Product is there. Product. There is a class. Otherwise, there is a class. What is a class here? Employee. Employee is a class. For employee class, which one is a super class? Object is a super class. Because whenever you write a class, that class automatically inherit which class? Object class. Okay, so whenever you write a class, that class automatically inherit which class? Object class. So for employee class, which one is a base class? Object is a base class. For employee class, which one is a base class? Object is a base class. And this object class, this employee class is having which one? Assume that is having employee number. Okay, employee is having employee number. Employee is having which one? Name. I want to read the details of this employee. So I write one method called which one? Read. So read method, read the details of what? Employee. Integer of input. So enter, what should I enter here? Employee number. I should enter the employee number. I should enter what here? Employee name. So I should enter employee number. I should enter employee name. So you are reading employee number. You are reading what here? Employee name. Which one? Employee. You are reading employee number. You are reading employee name of employee, and there is a print data. So print data. So this will print the details of what? Employee. So that is employee number. You're displaying employee number, saying self dot. Self dot, what is that? Employee number. Okay. So print format. So what is the name of this? Employee name. Employee number is there. Employee name is there. Self dot. What is it here? Employee name. So employee is having how many properties? 2 properties. And you are reading the values of this employee number and name by using which method? Read method. You are printing the details of this employee using which method? Print data method. Okay. Yes. So there is a class. There is one more type of employee is there. What is it employer? Salaried employee is a employee. Means I'm developing a salaried employee, and the salaried employee inherit which class here? Employee class. Okay. Salaried employee inherit which class? Employee class. So init and self. Uh, so to its properties of which class? Employee class. Actually, this init is also called which method? This init is also called which method? Overriding method, because salaried employee class is inherited which class? Employee class. Is it employee class is having init method or not? Yes. So init method of employee class is override in which class? Salaried employee. And this is also overriding method. This is also which method here? Overriding method, because this init is belongs to which class actually? Object class. But object class is doing any initialization? No. Because of that, you are trying to override in your class to do some initialization. Like I want my employee should create with number and name. So this is also overriding method. Overriding method of which class here? Object class. And this method is again override in which class here? It is override in which class? Salaried employee. So constructor is belongs to which class? Object class. So object class tells that if you want to, object class is providing, you want to initialize the object, override which method? Init method. Object class provide a method, you want to initialize the object, override this init method. I call this method to initialize which one? Object. Who calls the init method? Python virtual machine. That is, methods of object class are used by which one? Python virtual machine to manage what here? Objects. So overriding method of which class now here? Employee class. This one. And this method is calling the init method of which class? Employee class. But how you are calling it? By using what name? Class name. Dot which one here? Init. By sending reference of which object? Current object. Now here also I can call. Can I call here? Object dot. Can I say object dot? Can I say object dot? What is that? Init method by sending a reference of current object. But is it employee class inherit which class here? Object class. You are calling the init method of which class? Object class. But is it init method of object class? Is it doing any initialization? No. Okay. Now here I'll try to say self dot. Self dot, what is it? Salary equal to none. Okay. Now here this read method of employee class. This read method of employee class, is it inherited in salaried employee or not? Yes. But read method is reading how many values here? 2 values. It read employee number as well as what? Name. This read method read how many values? 2 values. First one is employee number and second one is what? Employee name. But I want it should also read which one? Salary. Then what will I do? Then what will I do? Override. This is called as which method now? Overriding method. Now why you override read method of employee class? Because I want this method should also have one more feature called which one? Salary. Because this read method of employee class will read only how many values? 2 values. But when it comes to the salaried employee, this read method should also read which one? Salary. Means I'm adding some new features or not? Yes. I'm adding new features with the existing features. Existing features means I should call this read method of which class? Employee class. How can I call it? By saying employee dot. I can say read by sending a reference of object. You can give the class name, or you can do the same thing by using which one? Super. Okay, now this super will refers to which class here? Super class. You can refer the members of super class within the subclass By using which method call? Super method call. Now super dot, which method you want to call? Read. So this will call the read method of which class? Employee class. And at the same time, you are reading, which one here? Salary. So float of which one? Salary. In the same way, so it means overriding method is having the functionality of which method? Overridden method. And it is also having one new feature. And there is a print. There is one method called print data. So the print data method of employee, this print data method of employee print how many values here? 2 values. One is number and one more is a name. But is it print salary? Yeah? No. It doesn't print salary. It will print only number and what? Name. But doesn't what here? Salary. But I want to print even which one? Salary. Then what will I do? Override. This is called which method now? Overriding method. So this is also called print data method of which class? Super class. So which will print the employee number and what? Name. And at the same time, I want to print which one? Salary. Now self dot. Self dot, what is that? Salary. So there is a main here. See here, all these are overriding method. Now derived class override init method of base class. Derived class override read method of base class. Derived class override print data method of which class? Base class, because I want read method of base class should also read which one? Salary. But read method of base class will read only number and name. But in derived class, that read method should also read what? Salary. Because of that, it is override. That read method should, that print data should method, print data method should also print what? Salary. Because of that, print data method is what? Override. Okay. Then I create employee 1, salaried employee, then employee 1 dot read, employee 1 dot, what is that here? Print data. Employee 1 dot read and employee 1 dot print data. Okay, right. So once you run this, so employee number, name of the employee, and this is what here? Salary. So number, name, and one more is which one? Salary. So overriding so this is how you do it. Okay, this is how you are trying to do it, right? Okay, so overriding is a part of which one now? This overriding is a part of which one here? Polymorphism. But this polymorphism, you can also achieve it by using, so you have an abstract classes and what is it? Abstract methods. Abstract classes and abstract methods. Now is the part of inheritance only. So there is abstract classes. So there is an abstract classes and what is it? Abstract methods. So this can be done by using one module called, so there is one module. What is the name of this module? ABC module. ABC module, right? ABC means abstract base classes. This module provides the infrastructure for defining Abstract base classes in what here? Python. Abstract base classes in Python. Abstract base classes in Python. ABC module. What is the name of the module? ABC. ABC module. Python provides ABC module. ABC module for implementing abstract classes and what here? Methods. So it is a predefined module, okay, which comes with which software? Python. It is a predefined module. It is a predefined module. So it's a predefined module, and this module comes with which software here? Python software. So what is this abstract classes and abstract methods here? Now using this abstract classes and abstract methods, even you can achieve which one here? Polymorphism. Okay. Using abstract classes and abstract methods. Okay, using abstract classes and abstract methods. Okay, we can achieve or we can implement which one again? Polymorphism. Along with the inheritance, you can implement which one? Polymorphism by using this abstract classes and what here? Methods. So first we'll see what is which method? Abstract method. So the name itself, right? Abstract. Abstracts. Abstract means what? Suppose you want to develop project. What do you require? If you want to develop a project, what do you require? Abstracts. Abstracts. If you don't have abstracts, can you develop project? No. Moving on. Abstract. Abstract define. So abstract method. Yes. So abstract method is which method here? Object level method. It is object level method or what? Instance method. So abstract method defines what? A protocol. Abstract method defines a protocol. Protocol means set of rules and regulations. Abstract method defines a protocol or rules and regulations which has to be implemented by every derived class. Or you can say abstract method defines the behavior of behavior of which class? Derived class or what? Child class. Abstract method define the behavior of derived class or what? Child class. Or you can say abstract method defines some set of rules and regulations. So abstract method doesn't have an implementation, in which class? Base class. You can say abstract method is, what? Empty method. It is empty method in which class? Base class. It is empty method in base class because it just defines the abstract without dictating what here? Implementation. It just defines the abstract without defining what here? Implementations. It doesn't provide the implementation. It just gives the abstracts. For example, there is a class. You are giving abstracts. You are giving the abstracts how to develop which one? Animal. I want to provide some abstracts how to develop animal. I want to give only abstracts. How to develop animal. What animal is having? Suppose animal, what I'm saying, animal eat. I'll say, I'm just giving abstract, animal eat. So eat is a behavior of animal, but what it eat, that might be changes from one animal to another. So it is only behavior, but without dictating what? Implementation. It is only behavior. Now you just write what here? Pass. Is it this method is empty or not? Yes. So animal eat. Okay, animal eat. Okay, animal eat. And animal, what is that here? Sleep. So you want to, now you want to provide, okay, animal eat and animal what? Sleep. You'll write, okay, which animal how it sleep and which animal how it eat. But every animal is having some behavior. What is that behavior? Eat, and one more is what? Sleep. But the person who develop animal, suppose you want to develop animal, then you develop animal by following the rules given by which one? By following the rules given by which one? Animal. So dog is a animal. It means I am developing a dog by following the rules given by which one? Animal. So what will I do? I'll provide how dog eat, or what dog eat and how dog sleep. Okay, what dog eat and how dog is what? Sleep. In the same way, there is a person who want to, okay, develop an animal called which one? Cat. So the person who want to develop a cat, it just follow the rules given in what? Animal. Now you provide the implementation, what cat eat and how cat what? Sleep. So that implementation you write in which one? Cat. It means abstract method doesn't have an implementation in which class? Base class. It just give only the set of rules and regulations, and that rules which has to be implemented by which class? Derived class. If you want to declare a method as an abstract, okay, you are using at the rate. What is it? Abstract method. At the rate abstract method what? Decorator. What is the decorator you are using? At the rate abstract method decorator. Then only that method is transformed into which method? Abstract method. Otherwise no. Definition. And you write what here? Method name. And abstract method is instance method. And you can also have your own arguments. Okay. And is it method with body or without? Without. Without means empty. Can you write empty method? Yes, but you should write what? Pass. If you write anything inside a block with a pass, that is called as empty block or not? Yes. So this method is what now? Empty. Empty method. This is what? Empty method or empty block. So at the rate abstract method is a decorator. At the rate abstract method is a decorator, exists in which module? ABC module. Okay. If you want to use this at the rate abstract method decorator, you have to import which module? ABC module you have to import. You have to import ABC module. If you don't import ABC module, can you use this at the rate abstract method decorator? No. but we cannot write in abstract methods in class. We have to write the abstract methods only in which class? Abstract class. You can write in abstract methods only in which class? Abstract class. Okay. We cannot write a abstract method in class, non-abstract class. You need to write abstract methods only in which class? Abstract classes. What is abstract class? Okay. Abstract class. Abstract class is a collection of which methods? Abstract methods and which methods? Non-abstract methods. Is having both. It is having both methods without implementation and methods with what? Implementation. Abstract class is a collection of abstract methods and non-abstract methods. Abstract class is an abstract data type. Abstract class is an abstract what is that? Data type. A data type. What is this? Abstract data type is a data type which allows to build what here? Similar data types. Similar data types is called which one here? Abstract data type. Now using this data type, you try to build similar data types. So what is the syntax of writing this abstract class? So abstract class is only for inheriting, but not used for creating what? Object. You can use it only for inheriting, but not for creating which one? Object. You are saying class followed by what name? Class name. And to create an abstract base class, the class should inherit which class here? ABC class. ABC is what here? Class. And ABC is what here? Module. The small ABC is a module and capital ABC is what here? Class. So the class which inherit which class? ABC class is called which class? Abstract base class. The class which inherits which class? ABC class is called as which class? Abstract base class. If you don't inherit this, then it is a non-abstract class. But this is which class here? Abstract class. So that you can write which methods? Inside this you can write which methods? Abstract methods. You can write which methods? Non-abstract methods. You can also write which one? Variables. You can write abstract methods. You can write non-abstract methods. You can also write which one? Variables. So abstract class is used for inheriting. Abstract class is used for what? Inheriting. But using abstract class, we cannot create. We cannot create what? Object. We cannot create animal. Okay, because animal is what? Abstract. But we can create a dog. We can create object of dog. We can create object of what? Cat. But we cannot create what? Animal. There is no animal, right? Can you see any animal? Huh? No, there is a cat, there is a dog, like that. But animal is only abstract. And those properties are inherited by which one? Cat. Those properties are inherited by which one? Dog. Okay, but animal is what here? Abstract. Animal is what here? Abstract. Now you cannot create object of which class? Abstract class. It is used only for inheriting, but not for instantiating. It is used only for inheriting, but not for what? Instantiating. You can use it only for create. You can use it only for inheriting, but you cannot use it for creating which one? Object. You cannot use it for creating which one? Object. It is used only for inheriting, but not used for what? Instantiating. Okay, na? Right. So we'll talk about tomorrow, like how to work with this abstract methods and what? Abstract classes. So today we'll stop it here and tomorrow we'll continue this, right? Okay.